Bunny, you're hogging the camera. Bunny, move out of the way. Say, welcome to the, okay. Hi.
Hello.
It's a story lady and Bunny.
And Bunny.
Yeah, and you know what? It's time to read a story to you now.
Yeah, story.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Oh, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Are you ready for our story
Hi.
today?
I'm ready.
Oh, Bunny, there you are.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's really fun to jump into the magic book. Now, are you ready for your story today, everyone?
Yeah.
Today, our story is the story of Cinderella.
Cinderella? I know her.
You do?
Yeah. I used to live in her backyard.
Oh, and I bet she was very nice to you because
Yeah.
that's the thing, Bunny. She was always really, really nice to everyone.
You know, that's right. You knew it too?
Well, I know of her. I haven't had the absolute privilege of meeting Cinderella, but I feel like I know her because I've heard her story so many times, and it's actually a real inspiration. You see, boys and girls, Cinderella was lovely to everyone, even though everyone wasn't very nice to her.
Well, some people weren't.
No, her stepmother and her evil stepsisters, why they ordered her around. Every morning they'd say, Cinderella, make my tea. Cinderella, wash the floor. Cinderella, do this. Cinderella, do that.
Cinderella wasn't even her real name. Her real name was Judy.
No, actually, her real name was Ella, and the reason she was called Cinderella is that they made her sleep by the fireplace. And you may not know a lot about fireplaces, but in the olden days, the fireplaces would have little ashes around them that were like cinders, and those cinders would get on her clothes, and they made fun of her, and they called her Cinderella, Cinderella, like that. And
I thought her name was Judy. She told me her name was Judy.
Judy, no, it was Cinderella. And you see, one day, even though she was very, very patient and very kind to everyone, there was a knock on the door. And she was very excited because she was thinking, oh boy, something exciting's going to happen. And you know what, Bunny?
Yeah, there was someone at the door.
Well, yeah, that was exciting. And it was really even more exciting that someone at the door was from the royal palace with a message. You see, they didn't have email and, and Evites back then and all that kind of thing. They had royal, the prince is giving a ball, kind of people that came to your door.
Yeah, she wanted to work the palace.
That's right.
She got a booking.
That's right. And so everyone was invited. All of the young maidens in the land were invited. And Cinderella was very excited because that meant even though she was Cinderella, she was invited too. And she was so happy, except for, I bet you can guess what's going to happen next, Bunny.
Yeah. The guy invited her, and then he left. He went to the next door.
Well, no.
To invite someone else.
He did invite everyone. But you see, her stepmother and her stepsisters were not very happy that Cinderella was going to be included because secretly, deep down, I think they were jealous of her, Bunny, because she was so kind.
I think they were just evil.
They were evil.
They had a secret lair, and they were always capturing superheroes and putting them in carelessly unguarded death traps.
There's that kind of evil, and there's just the kind of evil that's just selfish and mean, and that's what they were. Yeah. And they did everything they could to make sure that Cinderella couldn't get to that ball. They made her clean extra floors, and they made her do extra dishes, and they made her make their pretty dresses, and she was so tired. Even though she wanted to remake one of her mother's old dresses, she was just exhausted after all that work, and she couldn't even make her dress to go to the ball, and she started to cry.
Of the dishes.
I know, Bunny, I know you tried to help, but guess who else came to help? A beautiful fairy godmother appeared, and she said, oh, Cinderella, my dear, don't cry. I can help you go to the ball. And she said, you can? And she was, of course I can. I'm your fairy godmother. That's why I'm here, you silly girl.
Yeah, and she was like, you come to me asking for a favor, and one day I will ask you for a favor in return.
No, actually, Bunny, I know who you're talking about.
That must have been her fairy godfather.
That was the fairy godfather. That's right, Bunny. She asked Cinderella to go to the garden, get a pumpkin, and bring some mice, and she was going to do some magical things. And she waved her magic wand.
Mice and a pumpkin.
That's right.
Was it even pumpkin season?
I think it was pumpkin season, actually.
Yeah, it's near Halloween.
And so she waved her magic wand, and the pumpkin turned into a great big coach. Do you know what a coach is, Bunny?
Yeah, he tells you how to play baseball and stuff.
No,
and he's like, okay, drop and give me 50 push-ups.
No, there are lots of different kinds of coaches. That's the kind of coach that helps you learn how to to do a sport.
Oh.
This kind of coach, back in the old days, was a beautiful carriage, and it was pulled by horses, and it was very, very pretty. But that was a problem because we had the coach, but we didn't have any horses yet. So the fairy godmother took out her magic wand and waved her magic wand with her fairy godmother magic, and those little mice, guess what they turned into, Bunny? Can you guess?
Big mice?
They would have been really big mice. Actually, no. They turned into white horses that were
Whoa! But that was a surprise for them.
I was like, wow, I was a mouse.
Oh,
wow,
but the
I'm a
baseboards
horse.
were never the same after that.
Yeah.
And
Like,
the mice were like getting into the kitchen cupboards, and she'd go in there, and there's like a horse.
there's a horse
And they're like in the kitchen going, I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. And then you go in and like, "Arr!"
There's a horse. I'm so hungry I can eat a horse. And then there's a
Yeah.
horse in the kitchen. Funny, you made a funny.
Yeah.
Oh, but back to our story, Bunny.
Okay.
Okay, so the horse and the carriage and Cinderella, but she was dressed all in rags, and so of course the fairy godmother waved her magic wand, and Cinderella got a beautiful, beautiful dress and glass slippers. And the fairy godmother said, now, Cinderella, dear, you look ever so lovely, but you must remember to be home before midnight
Glass
because
slippers.
glass
They're
slippers.
highly impractical shoes.
They are highly impractical shoes, but you know, princesses are highly impractical beings, and for one night, Cinderella is going to get to be a beautiful, beautiful princess and wear glass slippers and a pretty fancy dress, and she got to dance with the prince, but she
Wow.
had to remember to be home before midnight because the fairy godmother said the coach would turn back into a pumpkin, the horse would turn back into mice, her dress would turn back into rags, and she had to follow the rules.
Pretty cut rate, if you ask me.
That's right. So she went to the ball and she danced with the prince. Bunny, will you dance with me?
Okay.
Okay, ready? Bunny, you're rocking out. This was a royal ball. We have to like waltz or
Yeah.
something. Can't hold my hand. Da 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 da. Oh, Bunny.
So the prince threw out the first ball of the season?
Did oh Bunny, you did another funny bunny.
Yeah,
You are a
funny.
funny bunny. Well, back to the story again,
Okay.
my love. You see, I think, speaking of love, Cinderella and the prince fell in love, and they were dancing the night away when all of a sudden the clock struck midnight.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Bong,
Ran right into it, did he?
well, not exactly like struck midnight. I mean,
No.
it turned midnight. It became midnight. And at that moment, Cinderella realized that she had to run away very quickly because the magic was going to disappear. She didn't really know that the magic wasn't the dress that she was wearing and the shoes and the fancy coach. It was really inside of her. That
Yeah,
was-
the coach struck midnight. There's a pedestrian wearing a watch. That's what you get when you have mice pulling it.
That's what happens, Bunny. Anyway, Cinderella went home, and luckily just in time, but the prince was able to capture one thing of his love. On the ballroom floor was a beautiful glass slipper, and he held that glass slipper. It was so precious to him, and he vowed that he was going to find the beautiful young maiden whose foot fit the glass slipper.
You know, he should have taken a picture.
Well, I don't think they
I
had,
got my
you know,
like phone has a camera in it.
yeah, well, I don't think they had those back then. Otherwise, I think he probably would have taken a lot of pictures of her. So he went to every home in the whole kingdom trying to find the beautiful young girl that fit the slipper. And of course, eventually, after a lot of feet tried to squeeze into the shoe, he found Cinderella. And guess what happened, Bunny?
Well, after 3 feet, he had a yard.
After 3 feet, he had a yard.
Oh yeah, Cinderella fit in that. I remember that. I was there.
And they got married and they lived.
Oh, I lived happily ever after. I can tell you that.
And
because
they-
I got to live in the castle's yard and out in the garden. It
Oh.
was really nice. That castle's enormous.
Yes,
And you know, they lived happily ever after. They didn't have problems. Because
No.
the prince made Cinderella like clean the place.
no. Well, I'm sure that she always helped to clean up because she
Oh,
was a
yeah.
very kind.
She was
and
kind of
lo-
compulsive that way.
Yeah, she was a
She was
very.
cleaning everything.
Yeah, well, you know, cleaning is kind of fun, and they lived
Happily
happily
ever after.
ever after.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. The end.
The end. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, that was so strange.
Bunny, you know what's strange?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, turning mice into horses.
You're strange, Bunny.
Yeah.
You say the weirdest things.
You're the one with the mice turning into horses, let me tell you, it's pretty
I know,
crazy.
that is crazy, but
And a
it's a fairy
pumpkin?
tale.
You turn a pumpkin into a coach?
Fairy tales have strange things. Anyway, I think
Who's
we're
a fairy
done.
godmother
Okay,
anyway?
time to turn the camera off.